You have a decent physique, but for 7 years you're still very skinny. What do we think? 7 years worth? If you think that was skinny, are you ready to see how I looked in the beginning? The really funny thing about social media is people unknowingly, like they don't even realize they do it, project their own dissatisfactions and insecurities onto you just to cope. So for example, this was never my goal, ever. I actually never wanted to look like this, and yes, I don't, but that's because it wasn't my goal. I don't want to look like a bodybuilder. At no point have I been trying to, but then people like that come along and assume that I do. Therefore, I'm still skinny, but really, who's the one who's probably dissatisfied here? For me, it was all about being lean, being athletic and maintaining that shape all year round to the point that I could just go to the beach, take my top off, have a beer, and not worry about it, right? Because I did. There were times that I did, and there were times that I really didn't like or feel comfortable taking my shirt off because I was really skinny, right? And I just didn't like it. So I feel like I'm at a good point now. But you're absolutely right. It's not 7 years worth of progress, because do you want to know what happened to me in the middle of that time frame? I got fat, for me. And the reason that that happened is because I was listening to people like you. I took advice from bodybuilders and people that I didn't want to look like, and therefore I ended up looking a way that I didn't want to look. Makes sense, but it's very, very difficult to maintain clarity on what your goal is when you spend all day on social media digesting content that isn't necessarily aligned with what you want. This is what I wanted, all right? That's what I wanted. Maybe Brad Pitt Fight Club, same kind of vibe. Nothing too crazy. Just to look lean and athletic, like I went to the gym, but it wasn't really obvious. I didn't look like I was on substances. I just looked athletic. For example, this is a run I did earlier today. I'm still recovering from this. It was like a half marathon in Thailand, so that's why the pace is a little bit sort of slow on average. But yeah, I can perform like an athlete and I feel like I look more like one, not a bodybuilder. Then I also don't think I'm that skinny. I really wouldn't say I am, especially considering where I started. So all I'm making this video to say is stop taking advice from people that you don't want to follow in the footsteps of, because when the majority of those people make up the content that you see online, you will be brainwashed and you'll forget your own goal. Now, if you want to be a bodybuilder, that's great. I commend you. It's not easy. It's very respectable for people that put on that amount of size. But if you don't want to be, it's probably good to remind yourself of that and separate yourself from seeing the content that confuses you into thinking that you do. So if you do actually want to learn how to build a body that's athletic, people can tell you go to the gym, you feel confident in it, but it's not like crazily overwhelming or weird looking, then you can follow me and I'll teach you how.